So let's spin, find out what we're going to get for our next episode. W, Wormpool. I don't think Wormpool's in the game. Okay, W, let's have a look here. No restricted. That's only 9 Pokemon that I've got to really choose from there. Looks like another tough one.
Welcome to the Pokemon Wheel of Fortune. The rules of play. Number 1, this game uses whatever the current VGC format is. Number 2, the letters of the alphabet are placed onto our Wheel of Fortune at random. The wheel is spun and I must make a team of Pokemon whose names start with that letter. I will then take that team onto the in-game battle spot ladder and play until I win 1 battle. Number 3, if necessary, I can swap the team members out for other eligible Pokemon throughout the course of those battles. Number 4, letters that contain fewer than 6 fully evolved Pokemon have been grouped together. If the current format includes restricted Pokemon, but there are none whose name begins with a corresponding letter, then I get to choose another one myself. Number 5, lastly, once a letter has been selected, it will be removed from the wheel for future episodes. The wheel will be spun at the end of each episode for the following episode.
We are back with another episode of the Pokemon Wheel of Fortune. In the last episode, we got W, so let's jump straight into the team. I said last episode that, we didn't have a restricted that began with W, but I thought, you know what, let's use White Kyurem, begins with W. Of course, it's technically Kyurem White, but you call it White Kyurem as well, right? Why not? So we've got White Kyurem. Life Orb, fairly straightforward what it's doing on this team. So if we stick with the left side of the screen for now, these are our threats, our main threats at least. So we've got that Kyurem, then we've got Walrein, quite a slow, bulky Pokemon. We've gone for a weakness policy mixed set as well, because on the special side of things, it doesn't really have much outside of water and ice coverage. So we put Crunch on there to help deal with Calyrex. On the rest of the team, we've only got one Pokemon that resists Ghost type moves, so I thought having a Dark type attack could be useful. Then in the bottom left, we have Whiscash, Dragon Dance Whiscash, with 3 attacking moves, no protect, bounce, and then stab moves with Rindo Berry as well. And both Walrein and Whiscash have Oblivious, which means they can't be intimidated, and our Whiscash is physical, so maybe that'll come into play. Then on the right side of the screen, we have the more supportive options. And yeah, top right, we have a Wartortle. So in this series, we've featured a couple of not fully evolved Pokemon already. We've had Growlithe, we have had Nuzleaf as well. And those are Pokemon that they're not really, you wouldn't really stick an EV out on those, you wouldn't really use those. Wartortle's no different, but Wartortle's stats are actually fairly decent and it can run EVO-like decently well as a supportive Pokemon. As you can see, we've got Fake Out, Yawn as well. Really nice move there. Icy Wind, so that we can capitalize on our opponent switching out if we Yawn them. On the following turn, we can get a speed drop on the Pokemon switching in. And Aqua Jet as well. I did consider going Protect instead of Aqua Jet, but we've gone with Aqua Jet for now, just to pick off any opposing Pokemon. Then we've got Weavile with an Assault Vest. You know what Weavile does. Of course, a lot of threat to it, but more Fake Out support as well to help get our Whiscash set up if we need to. And in our last slot, Whimsicott. Again, we all know what Whimsicott does. I've gone for both Tailwind and Trick Room options on this Whimsicott, with Fake Tears to help alongside both Kyurem and Walrein if we need to. And yeah, that's the team. Quite an interesting one, I think. So let's give it a go. Let's see how we get on. We have an opponent, and it's a Kyogre team. Yeah, no big surprise on this team. The Metagross sticks out, but it's not exactly something you'd never see. I think our plan here is probably to match their Tailwind and go straight after them with Kyurem. We're going to bring Walrein and Weavile back to help deal with the Rillaboom. Of course, Walrein weak to Rillaboom as well, but at least we can threaten it with some big damage. Tornadus expected, Metagross not necessarily though. So opponent dynamaxing. What you'd expect is the Metagross. I'm hoping my opponent goes for a Tailwind plus Steel move into Weavile play. Brutal Swing. So weakness policy. Yeah, probably should have seen that coming. Still Spike comes out into Weavile, yeah, so Weavile's gone. So that makes things quite difficult because I think that our Walrein might be faster than the Metagross and therefore slower in Trick Room, which is not ideal. Big sealion comes out. Yeah, so unfortunately the Metagross underspeeds us. I can't see a way back for us, unfortunately. Caught out by weakness policy Metagross there. We have our next opponent, and it is a Groudon team. I feel like I've seen similar things to this before. It's an interesting one. Whiscash looks pretty good here outside of that Lilligant. So we're going to go Whiscash Weavile. Or are we? I think we're going to go Whiscash Wartortle. And we are going to bring I think Kyurem and Whimsicott in the back makes a lot of sense. Weavile has uses here, for sure. We're not bringing it though. I expect my opponent to lead something tricky, probably the Sableye. Sableye Groudon or Lilligant Groudon. I think pretty safe bets. Lilligant Sableye, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, so we're going to swap out into Kyurem. And we are going to, could fake out the Lilligant. That's what we're going to do. Swap out, go for a fake out. Kind of reset the board. I don't expect my opponent to max the Lilligant here. Got to watch out for Encore on the Sableye, because that would be quite bad if they have that. I'm actually going to attack with Kyurem. I was going to protect, but if they have Encore, then I'm in all sorts of trouble. If I protect my Kyurem and they Encore my Wartortle. And we're going to Yawn the Lilligant. They withdraw the Lilligant, okay. Into Entei. So nice switch from my opponent there. That still does loads of damage, that critical hit. No. Get a Yawn off, so Entei will be falling asleep at the end of the next turn. Foul Play comes out, that it does a decent amount of damage. Okay, so we freeze dry the Entei slot again, because you've got to imagine it's Groudon or Lilligant coming back in. So they do switch into Lilligant. And that's into Lilligant. I kind of wish I'd yawned there. I was close to yawning the Entei slot again. But at least we break any potential sash on the Sableye. But we've gotten rid of a big threat to our Whiscash. Wow, a lot of damage, that was a critical hit. So yeah, we've got rid of the big threat to our Whiscash. Leftovers Sableye. And honestly, from here, Wartortle's in a pretty good position. Or maybe not, if Regieleki. I was not expecting Regieleki. Then again, looking at my team, it's totally fair you don't bring Groudon against it. So I think, what does my opponent do here? They probably just go for the Electro Web. Yeah, you've got to imagine they go for an Electro Web. So we are going to swap and Whiscash on that slot. Which is not a great play actually in hindsight. I've had two plays in my mind. I've mixed them together there. So but they had Quash anyway. So this has actually worked out really well. So yeah, I mixed up my two plays in my head there. What I should have done was get Whimsicott on the field, or switch in the Whiscash as I did and let Kyurem go down, because I needed Whiscash and Kyurem on the field at the same time, ideally. Now, from here, I think it's a pretty safe switch to get Whimsicott in. I don't even need to Dragon Dance, really, do I? I do have to be mindful of... Yeah, no, we don't want to Dragon Dance because we'll be taking tons of damage from the foul play. I have to be mindful of... any burns as well, any potential Will-O-Wisp from Sableye. Sableye switches out, so Entei's coming back in. And here we go, big fish. Is Whiscash money? Let's find out. I think in this matchup it is. I think we've gotten pretty fortunate. Of course, we've not won yet. But as I said, looking at my team, it's completely fair that you wouldn't bring Groudon if that's your restricted. This is a nice play for my opponent. So my opponent doing all the right things here. Really good damage still, considering we're not boosted, and it's a Whiscash, which I think is 78 base attack. So Sunlight fades. You've got to expect here we're going to see the fake out from Sableye. We haven't seen the fake out yet. We've seen Sunny Day, Foul Play, Quash. But you've got to expect we probably do see fake out into Whimsicott here. So we're going to bring Wartortle in. And we are going to Max Quake Entei. I would like to go for the Max Geyser, but I have a sneaking suspicion that the opposing Sableye may go for a Sunny Day again. We're actually just going to go for this. We're going to try and get rid of the Sableye, because then we limit their options. They can't switch Pokemon if we do that, so they actually just go for a Quash. And taking for a burn, which is, yeah, again, totally fair play. They do get the burn, fortunately. So I don't think this is going to knock out now. No, not quite. So I think my opponent's probably looking at maxing their Regieleki. Yeah, I think that's what they're going to do. We're going to go for the same play again with our Whiscash. We're going to go for the Yawn as well. Hopefully, get rid of the Sableye. Stop my opponent from being able to switch. It has Detect, so that's the final move. That makes things a bit more complicated. But we get the Yawn off. So my opponent's got a decision to make now. Do they let Entei fall asleep, which I don't think they do, considering how they've played around our sleep so far. But then they know that they are probably going to lose Sableye. So I could switch Whiscash here into Whimsicott. If my opponent reads that though, that would be fantastic. I think that's what we're going to do, because we need Whiscash to stick around to deal with the Regieleki. It looks like my opponent's probably not switching since we switched first, so they've just stayed in with their Entei. So Entei's going to sleep at the end of this turn. And we're in a pretty good position now because we're threatening the knockout on Sableye with Moonblast. And I'm going to start aquajetting the Entei. See if we can pick up the KO on that, which I think is going to take two. It's going to take 2 aquajets for sure. Sableye's detect again, yeah. That's totally fair play. So there's one, yeah. That's a 2-hit KO from that range. So same play again. Or do I? Do I get greedy and Moonblast the Entei and go for an Icy Wind? If Entei wakes up, that wouldn't be great though, but I feel like they might just switch it out. They don't, so they go for Extreme Speed. That's unfortunate, because I did want to keep Whimsicott around. So we didn't get Tailwind up, unfortunately. And then Sunny Day. Again, good play for my opponent. They're mitigating my Aquajet damage now, so I can't knock out the Sableye from this range, I don't think. Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. Okay. Yeah, so not getting Tailwind up. That wasn't great. But that's the virtue of my opponent playing well. Making the right moves. So they still haven't maxed yet. So I think it's fair to say it's coming out. We can't yawn because we're going to see the electric terrain hit the field anyway. We've got boosts on Water with 2 special defense boosts, so we should take the max lightning anyway. Go for the Earth Power into Regieleki. So my opponent doesn't max, which yeah, it's a good play. I considered protecting, but I didn't protect. So my opponent capitalizes on that. Yeah, Icy Wind off. Foul play comes out. And yeah, this looked like a winning position to probably not winning position now. You've got to imagine my opponent probably has a like Hyper Beam or something on that Regieleki to deal damage to Whiscash. I risked knocking myself out here, but I think I'll do it. My time is getting low as well. So I think my opponent just goes for a Detect on Sableye. They max Sableye, wow. So I guess no electric move. Sorry, only electric moves on the Regieleki. Oh, this is going to be so close. Well, I'm hoping we can live this. We do. So I think we're just going to see probably a max guard. Yeah, I think we probably just do see a max guard from Sableye. Yep, there it is. Okay, I think we win. What? I think we win. Unless something happens that I don't expect. Yeah, we've almost run out of time. But I believe we have won. We did. What a weird game. What a weird game that was. I really thought we had that in the bag early on. My opponent played really well. Did everything they needed to do to get back into it. Ended up maxing Sableye. But the matchup pulled us through there, just barely. So really well played to my opponent, really unlucky. Played really well. We got the win. Let's spin the wheel. Now that is how you limp over the line. What can I say though? As I said before, props to my opponent. They played it really well. The matchup was so heavily out of their favour that they needed some RNG to go their way, but they played towards that. And that's what you got to do in Pokemon. My opponent played it really, really well and almost clutched victory from the jaws of defeat. But now it's time for us to spin. We only have 8 options left on our wheel, and the last few episodes have been difficult. I think I jinxed it when I was talking about how easy I thought C would be, or easier comparatively C would be, and then we've had 2 difficult ones in a row. So still got some really difficult ones. Let's spin, see what we're going to get. Yep, that's going to be E. Electabuzz, Electivire. I don't think they're in the game, are they? Yeah. What other Pokemon begin with E? E! So, not too many Pokemon. Most are fully evolved though, that I can see. We have Eternatus, that is our restricted for our next episode. And we have Trick Room options with Exeggutor. And a kind of fast surprise Trick Room option in Espeon. We can pair either of those with a Scavalier for a decent Trick Room mode. Actually, there are less Pokemon here than I initially thought. So yeah, another difficult one, but as usual, we'll make something work. Thanks for tuning in again, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.